that was deemed anti-Semitic. It is not anti-Semitic. He said it's the biggest thing since then. Since then. He didn't belittle the Holocaust. He didn't say the Holocaust didn't happen. He didn't say less than you believe. Thing since it's not. And a liar would say it is. So Andrew Bridgen has said to the politicians concerned that they will, the Hancock in particular, they will take it to court, withdraw the which say and retract what they say. Otherwise, they're going to be taken to court for, and logically, he will win. That is fantastic, and I support Andrew Bridgen all the way. And every person that cares about human life should be supporting Andrew Bridgen and demanding an end to the injection programmes, all of them now. And we have till February the 1st, as far as I'm concerned, to win this. And we should also be demanding an inquiry into how this jab programme came about. But of course, who will run the inquiry is a big question, because the powers that be always put us in charge of inquiries. Let's cross when it comes. There has to be an inquiry. One of you inquiries, and we know the truth.
Piers, you know you're nuts, right?
Good afternoon, sir.
I think it's evening already. Always a pleasure to see you here.
Yes, and I am not anti-Semitic, and I never have been
No, I said
anti-Semitic.
you're nuts.
I said you're nuts.
By the way,
Let's clarify that.
the issue of Andrew Bridgen will raise some other libel questions, because I myself was accused of being anti-Semitic for putting out a leaflet which was anti-Nazi, and those people that accused me of anti-Semitism themselves committed libel, and that is something which might follow on after Andrew Bridgen has taken his case. And there's another one about libel, namely those scammers who did a Photoshop, showed my t-shirt, showed me with a t-shirt, a yellow t-shirt, holding money. But the t-shirt they showed didn't have any words on it. It was a Photoshop. That was in a video edited in 37 places to try and frame me as being bribed by a Vax. I said actually to these people that I was talking to, we will not change policy at all, and we're opposed to all the jabs. However, that was left out of the video. But leave that aside, the accusations against me on that were libel, and we might also follow that up. But of course, will the courts of England actually do their job? I do not know. It is plain black and white what's happened. It's plainly libel. Let's seek the truth. But let's see what's going to happen next. We've got to demand the media end their witch hunt of Andrew Bridgen. And we will be organising pickets, demonstrations against the mainstream media for their lies, lies and lies, and demand the truth. And we want to get on the mainstream TV as well. We've got to give them an offer they can't refuse. I don't know what it is, but we've got to get on there and speak the truth, because as Haiku says, their whole narrative is crumbling. And we know what people are thinking. We did our own little opinion poll on my Twitter channel, @Real Piers Corbyn. Elon Musk hasn't reinstated my other one, of course, ho ho. But there, 91% say Andrew Bridgen was speaking the truth. And you know the figures in America. But what about the political spectrum? You see, the biggest thing that disgusted me about those statements in Parliament by Hancock and Sunak was that not a single MP stood up and said, Mr. Prime Minister, that statement you made isn't true. Please, could you justify it?
Yeah.
Not one MP, not even my brother, none of them. They're all scared, scared. The whole system in Parliament is utter rubbish.
Fraud, yeah.
It's a circus.
It's shown up.
And people like Reform UK are part of that circus as well. They're pretending to be opposition, but they themselves believe in continuing the vaccination injection programme. That is a disgrace. And furthermore, note this. Representatives of Reform UK were present at the formation of Together, the Together so-called campaign, which limits itself and got very upset about us going to Oxford giving out effective leaflets when they were giving out stupid, inaccurate leaflets. That upset them. Well, of course it upset them. But why are they giving out these stupid leaflets, and who pays them to do so? That is the question. So be very careful. When people come campaigning with you, ask them, what are they actually saying? That's what you've got to know. And we have to be clear. Now there will be posers everywhere. If people work with you, then great. But we say, in any area where there's any campaign, first thing we ask is who's here and what are you doing? We do not walk into an area and impose ourselves. We've been going around the country. We've been going to Ealing. We've been going to, well, many places, Oxford, Canterbury, supporting those people there against these zoning policies. So I think we'll move on to talk a bit about zoning policies now. Because some people think, oh, this is just small. No, not small at all. First thing to understand, though, the actually cretinism of what has been said. They tell us that in order to have your ability to go around and go to a shop within 15 minutes, we have to block cars from driving in and out of the area. Right, to help you walk, we're going to block cars from moving. This is utter insanity. Your ability to walk is nothing to do with the cars driving around. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Does anybody here disagree with that? No, there's nobody here who's mentally deficient. Good. But we're told, and people believe it, you've got to block roads in order to help other people walk. It is utter, complete insanity and nonsense. It is war on the car in the name of man-made climate change. But it doesn't do anything about pollution anyway. It makes pollution worse because the cars will drive greater distances in order to reach their destination and avoid a charge. What is it really about? It's about control, control, control. And it's not just about controlling cars, because the control of cars necessitates cameras everywhere to watch you. That is what it's about. And those cameras will watch people walking, they'll watch people on bicycles. And if they don't like you for some reason, because you've spoken out against the government, because you're deemed anti-Semitic, because you've spoken the truth, because you owe somebody something, you will find that your credit is terminated when you walk in a shop. That is what is in store for us. It's not just a game about cars. And anyway, let us be clear. The story behind it of man-made climate change is a utter, complete lie. L-I-E. It's a lie. Man-made climate change does not exist. World CO2 levels follow changes in temperature, as shown by 20,000 years of detailed data from ice cores.
What about this story they said this week that the oceans are warming?
Well, the oceans are warming at an infinitesimal rate from the bottom due to they're still warming from the last ice age. And when they do that, they do eject small amounts of CO2. But the extra CO2 out now is from the medieval warm period, a delayed effect of circulation. Everything they say now about climate is lies. This claim that this year or last year was the warmest ever since sliced bread is a complete lie. They generate this lie by one, fiddling the current data, but two, a more clever thing, because you don't notice it, they change the data in the past.
Yes.
They change it. I've seen the data sets. One data set, and then 2 years later, another data set. The numbers are different. They've adjusted them, they say. How do they adjust them? Oh well, they remove a weather station they didn't like and deemed that that wasn't whatever. So then the average changes. It is lies, lies, lies. The lies are still on record. You can still get the previous record. You can still get them and compare them. and we do it on our graphs. The lie at present was at least half a degree, probably 1 degree. Everything they say about world temperatures, knock off a degree. It's a complete, utter lie, and the whole of climate science, I would say, is corrupt. Anybody that receives any funding in a university for climate science will be there to force the CO2 narrative. And they themselves, these guys, they know it's lies, which is why they will never discuss openly with me. And if we get on mainstream television, I'll be saying, we want somebody from the other side in front of me to argue. And they will never, never, never turn up. They are cowards and liars and a disgrace to science and humanity. Okay. Yes, so I'll almost end there to say, back to the Andrew Bridgen question, please support him in every way. Phone your MP, seriously, phone your MP and say we want you to stand for the truth with Andrew Bridgen. We want you to call for the end of the jab injection programme. We want you to call for an inquiry into how all these monstrosities came about. So that is on the jab and injection programme. On the low traffic zones, we need to have a national united front campaign against all these zonings. The 15-minute games, the low traffic neighbourhoods and the ultra low emission zone. And the CAZs, the clean air zones so-called in other cities, they're like the ultra low emissions. Now, I've amounted a so-called fine or fines of £34,000.
Hurrah!
And I'm not going to pay a penny. Never pay. There will be a court case, maybe, or they'll give up, one or the other. But no, for the extension of ULEZ for the M25, 6 London boroughs already said they won't do it. They do not agree. So we've got to make sure they will not put any cameras, they will not allow any tracking of people driving through. We've got to do that. I think we can win this. So everybody, please, take leaflets against the ULEZ. Take leaflets against all zoning. Get them in shops. Stick them up. Build a united campaign. And if you know anybody that's affected by an LTN, get in touch with the campaign. It's all listed on there. It's called the National United Front Against Zone Control. Say what you want on the Telegram group and use one of those leaflets, or we can produce special leaflets for your area. We've got to have all the different zone things fighting each other, not playing little games one against the other, such as the Together group or their associates, what do they call themselves, not our future or something. They're working with Reform UK, and as far as I'm concerned, they're part of the circus. The circus is there to make you think it's got to be Labour or Tory or Lib Dem to play the same game in Parliament. Labour and Tory right now might just as well be the same party. And you notice that in order to show he's more of an arse licker than Sunak, that Starmer has taken his whole shadow cabinet. Is going to Davos.
Yes. Oh, is that right?
Yes,
Whole cabinet.
Yes.
And that's saving the planet, flying by jet plane. What lying hypocrites they are! What complete, absolute scum! They've got to be swept aside, just like the Tories. Parasites and worms. Yes.
Worse
I don't think worms would even eat them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, that is enough for today, I think. Thank you, Haiku, and I just want to say our favourite slogan, we will end with resist, defy, do not comply. Resist, defy, do not comply. Resist, defy, do not comply.
Come on.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Very good.
Shall I say a few words like that?
If you want.
Please take leaflets, people, and give us money.
Just one issue.
Thank you.
Oh, you had a great speech. Very good, yeah. What you said about in India, in the Delhi, in the slums of India. It's extraordinary. No,
80% zero probability. Yeah, hardly any risk.
I also love your coat, by the way.
Chinese coat.
Yeah. We're actually making our own podcast as well. So, you know, we're trying to. We want to welcome as many different opinions and diverse views. Have them discuss.
Okay, well, get in
So we
touch.
appreciate
But
Piers.
this, in my opinion, just goes to show
I think given
how
the-
desperate they